Hello, everyone, and welcome back to TBO. Today's episode, we're doing Bullet Train because
Yeah.
why the fuck not? I watched the movie, Dan's watched the movie, we've watched a movie, and Dan liked the movie, so it'll be a completely different experience to all the other movies that Dan has
Is this our first review that's not a superhero film?
We did James Bond,
Oh, okay, yeah.
we did Arcane.
Oh, okay, I suppose. I mean, film-wise, but yeah, sure.
What else have we done? But no, yeah, we've done other stuff that isn't just superheroes.
It's
we did
majority.
Alita Battle
It's
Angel.
definitely highest percentage.
We did Alita Battle Angel. I remember that.
Yes,
That's
that
not
was
superheroes.
an experience.
But yeah, Bullet Train. Generally, one of the best movies I think I've seen this year.
It might be my favorite film I've seen this year.
Oh, that's good. It's fun, isn't it? It's like just dumb.
It's leave your brain at the door. Just don't think about it, and it's just funny. Honestly, I laughed so much in this film.
Yeah.
Full
I think
spoilers.
yep, full spoilers ahead. Thomas the
just-
Tank Engine.
Thomas Tank Engine is. Oh, I absolutely love it, and I love it so much more because I used to watch Thomas Tank Engine.
And it is relevant to the plot of the movie.
It
it's
is.
not just a dumb joke that's a throwaway. It
It's-
actually has an implication in the plot of the movie.
This film is so well made. I think visually it looks great.
All done in COVID. So it's all just carriages that they used as sets. No actual live footage. It's all
Yeah.
just using the volume. All using the volume as like the background to the trains as it goes past.
I love the acting as well. I think the actors did a fantastic job in this film.
Yeah. Brad Pitt's amazing. Like I never used to like Brad Pitt. And his recent movie roles, I've grown fond of him. Like he's a very good actor. Like I never gelled with him in his earlier roles, and then I think now I appreciate him a bit more. This and like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood have like really solidified him. As,
Yeah,
like a good
definitely.
actor. Oh, and Ad Astra, I think the one where he's a spaceman and he's just doing no like he's meant to be expressionless, but he does it so well. And in this, he's just full of expression and just having the time of his life. But yeah, shall we go into what the plot is about?
yes, but very quickly before we just do, I want to say it's very similar to Deadpool 2. That's why I thought of it as I was watching it.
Well,
I
it's
was
the
like,
same director.
I was like, yeah, I can tell this has very much Deadpool 2 vibes.
This director is probably one of my favorite directors working, because every movie that they've directed I have enjoyed deeply. Like they did Deadpool 2, they did Atomic Blonde, and there was another one that they did.
David Leitch,
But
we should say, is the director.
Yeah, he worked on like Hobbs and Shaw as well. He did
Oh, yeah,
Hobbs and
Hobbs and Shaw,
Those are
yeah.
like those are the four movies that he's worked on as like director, and then he's like co-director of like John Wick, like the first two John Wicks or the first John Wick, and then he moved on and went and did his own things. And he's like a stunt coordinator for a bunch of other stuff. And so yeah, all of his movies I've enjoyed watching because he just does action very well, and like he just blends in. But he used to be Brad Pitt's stunt double.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did. I think he did like 3 Brad Pitt movies where he was Brad Pitt's stunt double in them, and I think that's how he knows Brad Pitt and how he probably got Brad Pitt to go on to this film.
Yeah. And just before we go on to the plot, I just want to say I apologize if you hear any fan noise. It is just
Same.
too hot in the UK.
Yeah, we're not used to it. We don't have air conditioning, and life is life.
It's
is boring.
hot and sad and miserable. But we're talking about Bullet Train to cheer us up. So let's
Yeah.
go on into it.
So we got introduced to Brad Pitt's character Ladybug, but first, well, basically we get the beginning of the movie where it's I wasn't expecting this, like a father and his son's in the hospital, and we learn some details, and it cuts to like the TV and is showing the cartoon mascot,
The
thing
cartoon mascot and the snake as well.
and the snake, and it's like setting up like everything in this movie is perfectly set up because it all
It's so good.
like even everything is just like, here's this thing. Oh, it's completely irrelevant. Like it's a line of dialogue or something, but it comes back later in the movie.
yeah, it's
And like
so
a water
well
bottle
crafted.
has one of the best action sequences in a movie.
Yeah. That water bottle. As soon as it came up, I was in hysterics. I couldn't believe it.
because every fucking character has like this epic badass intro. And even if they just die like instantaneously after their intro, it's just like, oh, cool. This is what Suicide should have been. Like that was it's taking
Suicide
that
Squad.
Suicide. Yeah, it takes that Suicide Squad fucking everyone's got an intro. But like the guy in the trailer's Bad Bunny, who's gonna do the Sony El Muerte like
Yes, that
movie.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. He's he comes in, he gets like this tragic, epic backstory, and then he just gets taken out by throwing a knife, and it fucking flicks back in his chest and just fucking stabs him. And I'm like, oh, okay. That was unexpected. And it adds stakes, because you don't know who's going to die, because there's all these fucking famous people, and they get
true.
blitzed out, they get epic intros, they get like, they all get like character introductions, and then all the reason why they're there is just cohesive and actually makes sense.
Yeah, those fight scenes, they are hilarious. So, that one especially. When a knife bounces off at him and just hits him straight away. And for the character Ladybug, they're incredibly lucky.
Unlucky.
No, they're lucky though. That's so lucky.
No, but they blame it as bad luck, because it's like, oh, that person just died. But like, they're incredibly lucky, but they view it as bad luck, and it's just like,
yeah.
Like he walks into a puddle and he stops himself from getting hit by a
yeah, it's like, oh, so
which happens at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like someone gets hit by. But yeah, it's fucking great. What's your favorite? Like, was your favorite joke throughout the film the Thomas the Tank Engine, or was it anything else?
No, the water bottle. The water bottle's
the water bottle
is so funny. The reason why I thought it was so funny is because it's during the final action sequence.
Yeah,
and it's just completely out of nowhere. The water bottle just picked up, and I don't think it's even used for anything after that. It's just there.
No, it's thrown. It's thrown at the guy.
Oh, it's thrown at someone else.
Yeah,
again.
it's thrown at the. It's thrown at the bad guy, and that's how the dad then ends up killing doesn't kill him, but like stabs him a bunch. And it's just like, oh, we're just gonna do an epic backstory for this water bottle that saves the day. And it's just like, oh yeah, it starts with a little girl trying to go into a vending machine, and it just gets stuck, and then Lemon hits it, knocks it, it lands, they drink, they do like some things, and then it shows step by step.
Goes into the bin, rolls out the bin, and goes into the guy's hand.
Yeah, it's so good. Everything is just like so set up. It's just really well set up. Like, I wasn't expecting it. I think I compare it to like Knives Out in terms of how intricate the plot is.
Yeah. What I would say, for a film that is so carefully planned out, I only saw one twist coming out of all of them.
Which was?
Lemon. Which confusion's which now? Tangerine? No.
Lemon. Tangerine is the Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Okay, so Lemon come back to life. Lemon didn't die. I saw that one happening.
Yeah, but I forgot that they mentioned the bulletproof vest. Like, because I've watched this twice now, and because I went completely blind the first time, and then I've gone back and watched it. I missed the bit where he hugs her, like grabs her shoulders.
Yeah.
The
that
girl,
bit, yeah.
And sticks the diesel engine onto her back, because his whole backstory is like he knows Thomas the Tank Engine, and he uses it to fucking read people, and that's like perfectly set up, and it's just like, you know what, he might be talking absolute bollocks, but he knows his shit.
Yeah,
and he just
knows it's Thomas the Tank Engine,
and then the brother just instantaneously knows that the girl's the bad guy, and then because of like circumstances he gets shot in the neck and dies, but his brother was dead and he had nothing to live for, and so he was just like, oh fuck, and then Lemon's back alive, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, and even Lemon, when he goes throwing out the window, he still had a plot to it. It was still there for a reason.
Because then he gets a fucking tangerine car, and he drives into the bad guy. Because it's so good. It's just like the perfect like domino after domino of like such mad coincidences, and like you're wondering why all these people are coming onto this train, and it's set up by the bad guy, and it's like because his wife died, and then it's all of these circumstances around how the wife died, and then the big twist is that, oh, it was meant to be Carver, which is set up at the beginning because Brad Pitt's character is filling in for Carver.
Yeah. And then that cameo as well. Did not see that coming ever.
No, Ryan Reynolds turns up as Carver.
Yeah,
like this badass assassin that had called in sick to like avoid all of this, and Brad Pitt's character is just there in the moment. Like, it's great.
I
think that is the perfect cameo, though. It's just like,
yeah.
Because it's set up and it actually pays off. Like, oh my god, like any actor could have done that, but Ryan Reynolds doing it is just perfect.
It's also good because Brad Pitt had a tiny cameo in Deadpool 2.
Yeah, and it's just like, boom.
So yeah, vice versa. Also, Channing Tatum also had a cameo.
Yes.
Which is just like really weird.
Which I always, it keeps popping up in like movies with Ryan Reynolds now. It's fucking funny.
Yeah.
It's like, because Channing Tatum in this movie is just a guy who's on the train and just goes, oh fuck it, this is sexual. I want to get sexual. And I'm
Yeah,
oh,
just a really
Channing
horny
Tatum
guy.
just seems to be taking the piss out of himself, and I like it. I never used to
Yeah.
like Channing Tatum, but he seems to be he's doing better shit, and I like it.
Even then, that also wasn't a one-liner. It still had a plot to it.
Yeah, because it then comes back, and the other guy like has the whole thing. Ah, so good.
The action sequences as well.
Made by a stunt coordinator, so they're long-ish takes where you can actually see what's happening.
Yeah, I thought it was very good variety actually, because you had some scenes that were really short and lasted a minute, and then you had
Well, I
some
was
really long
looking
ones.
I was looking into the behind the scenes of this, and they built it around the stage cars because
Yeah.
they were trying to. Because the limitation with the stage cars, the stagecoaches of the train, means that all of the action is very narrow, so you can't get super long epic fight. Like you could, like there's ways of doing it, but they wanted to make every like fight unique. So they didn't want to just have carriage. So that's why they had the mascot carriage, they had the quiet carriage, they had the like confectionery area.
Yeah.
They wanted to build all the fight sequences around these different things. That fucking it's in the trailer, but that fucking he gets the water bottle, like the drinks, like the water, which is Karen from The Boys, like Kimiko, that
Oh, is it
that
her?
waitress. Yeah, it's her. And I was like, fuck, I honestly, she's so good. Karen Fukuhara. As the train crew member who just goes around with the water, like serving people drinks, and she doesn't have many voice lines, but even then she's still great. And I'm just like, fuck, she's an incredible like. And then she gets fucking punched in the face by Zazie Beetz, who's the assassin Hornet,
Yes. And
like who I thought was like Cardi B or something when I first saw her because he has the blonde hair, and I was just like,
oh
that...
right, yeah. No, she looked.
And I was
think
like,
she
I
looked a
had
bit better
no
than
idea
Cardi
who
B,
that
but-
was. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'm glad it wasn't. I was
Yeah,
just like,
a bit better.
it looks very like Cardi B because there's just like this one shot with her fighting Brad Pitt that I was like, ah. But I think my favorite joke in that is like her trying to explain the poison and Brad Pitt just go, I fucking know. Like that was my favorite joke. I was just like, fuck, that's so good.
We also had Brad Pitt just talking to a toilet for a while, saying, "I love this toilet."
Yeah, like the smart toilet with the bidet in it.
I love he's just having therapy during the whole thing as well.
Yeah, because he's. I don't know. I love how it's just dropped in that we're just like, oh, he's coming back to work after like taking therapy. What happened to this poor man? Like all of these poor
I
cases.
think it
were
was
just...
that event when he got shot twice by a lemon.
maybe, but he
Because
has really
it's all
long
related,
hair.
right? Everything in the film's related. Even all the
Yeah.
beginning scenes are all related. So I would imagine it'd be one of those.
Probably, it might have been the guy who jumped out the building whilst he was photographing the people having the affair or whatever, and it just lands
Yeah.
on his car. It's just like, fuck, so much bad shit.
But the thing
Yeah.
is, it's still not that bad luck because he caught the guy.
Yeah, he drove him to the hospital they lived, but he just views everything in a negative light because he's just like, well, so much bad shit's happening around me, but he's not realizing that he's just alive throughout all of it. Like he got
And-
shot twice and he lived.
Yeah, also the poison as well. When he actually got stabbed by the poison.
Yeah,
And then he got the
it
antidote. And then he got bitten by the snake again.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, if he hadn't have done that, he would have died because the snake. No, there would have been no cure. But like that snake was like just wandering around that train
I
for
knew
like
someone
ages.
was going to get bitten.
Yeah, I was like, oh, for the bad girl, like the prince, the
Yeah,
girl
Prince.
was gonna get bitten because I thought, oh, that's how she's gonna die because she's not gonna die because the gun's not gonna go off. Or I thought the bad, like the white devil was gonna die by the snake.
That would
no,
have been
it was just-
hilarious, but I'm glad it didn't because
But
that
no,
would've kind of
because
ruined
he
the film a
uses
little bit.
because he just gets frustrated. He wants Carver, and he's just like, I want Carver.
He's like,
And
I'm
Carver's
not a
not there.
Carver.
Yeah, like he would have called in sick. What a dick.
Yeah.
Like I agree with you, Carver's an asshole. Like Brad Pitt's just so done with everything, and I'm like, yeah. And then the guy's just, like the whole entire criminal organization just gets wiped out. Oh, this movie's great. I love it. It's very controversial. It's only got 53% on Rotten Tomatoes because I think
but critics
if
are
you
idiots.
don't gel, I think if you don't gel with the humor, because there's so much callback to the humor that happened before. I think if you don't gel with that humor, it's gonna cause you to like zone out of the movie. But like everyone is on top form.
I think it's that, and also I don't think critics entirely understand cinema. Like they have these criteria boxes that the film's got to tick. That it's got to be
Yeah.
like, oh, this new political message or something, or it's got to show this sort of character growth. Because it doesn't. Let's be honest, it doesn't actually show character growth. This film, or anything like that, really.
I think Brad Pitt finally accepts that he's kind of lucky.
Yeah, maybe, but there's not like.
But that's about it. It's like everyone else is just kind of stuck. Like the dad of the dad whose son got pushed out the window, the elder,
Yeah.
kind of just has like he gets his revenge. That's his character arc, I guess.
Like, yeah, there is some nice, there's some nice emotional moments, but at the same time, it's not like a big film in terms of implications for the world. It's just there, and it's fun. But it's just. But I don't think critics understand a film can just be fun. It can just have no meaning. It can just be entertaining.
Yeah, it's just a turn off your head movie. And
I think that's why critics don't like it. The main reason, I think most of the things we talk about the story, saying the story doesn't go anywhere really. And to be honest,
the story is great. Like how intricate the story is, and how like engaged I was at every moment.
I think they mean like because there's a lot of jumping around everywhere.
Oh yeah. Like it cuts. Like I think there's one cut where it just goes from like the brothers talking about the dead son of the crime boss, and then it just cuts to Brad Pitt in a toilet, and it's just like oh, and then it just cuts back to them talking, and it's just like, and it's just like oh okay, cool. I'm like, yeah, sick. I wanted to see Brad Pitt talk to a toilet.
I do love all of the lemon tangerine interactions as well.
Mm.
They've got very good chemistry together.
Yeah, both MCU stars, Quicksilver and
Quicksilver.
Yeah. Quicksilver and Fastos.
Yeah. Did you see the White Death twist happening with the prince being the daughter of the White Death?
I don't think I wasn't. I thought she was probably like another crime boss's daughter. I didn't think she was the white because I forgot that she kind of has like a Russian accent, like, but she's talking very posh.
Yeah.
So I kind of forgot, and then because I was like, oh yeah, because everyone else is Japanese or like Asian. Don't cancel me because I can't remember what culture it is. I think it's Japanese. Yeah, Bullet Train. Japanese Bullet Train. Yeah, everyone's like Japanese.
It's fine.
I was like, oh yeah, he's No, I forgot that he was Russian, and I was just like, oh fuck yeah. And then Michael Shannon turning up and just being the White Devil, and I'm like, oh fuck, didn't see that. I don't know if it was because I don't think it was shown in the trailers. I can't remember. If it was, that's a big twist to reveal. I know that some of the trailers revealed like Sandra Bullock at like her end reveal, and it's kind of like the aftermath of the movie, so it's kind of like, oh, that's a big spoiler.
I'm very happy I only ever saw the first trailer, and I think I only saw it once. That one time we watched it before we talked about TFE. It's the only time I saw it.
Yeah, I think I'd watched the first one, and then I'd maybe seen like 2 of the other ones, like bits and pieces of the second and third, like trailers and stuff like that. But yeah, it was good.
Even the animated show, even that had a lot of references and sort of callbacks to itself. So such minute details.
Yeah, I would love to. I want one of those plushies. I want to get a gun and fucking blast it as a silencer. Somehow that works.
Yeah.
Oh, Logan Lerman doesn't have a character name apparently. I guess he's just the son. Wait, no, he's apparently in the movie. But I love how they like the Lemon and Tangerine have that the White Russian son, like the White Death's son is dead, and they're like having to come up with the Punch and Judy joke, like, and but like it's shot like really fucking cool, where like he comes out and the camera tilts as he's walking out, and it like corrects itself, like he's standing awkward, like. The camera, and then it just like it's all slow motion, and he's smoking a cigarette, and then he's just like it's just badass in that moment. I'm just like, that's such a cool like way to present like this badass dude.
It's good cinematography, which I think a lot of films, a lot of blockbusters are probably actually missing nowadays.
But like this
about coming off the train, I love the idea that you only have a minute to get off the train. I know it's actually true, but I think it works really well throughout the whole film.
Yes, because. Like Brad Pitt, I think, because basically Brad Pitt is only meant to be on for the first. Well, because he loses his ticket, so he only has till the first stop to get off, because the train conductor has basically told him, and he's a good person, so he's like, well, I'll get off if I actually get it, and then I'm getting off, and then he gets attacked by the wolf, which is and then that keeps him on the train. And then he tries to get off at the next station. Then he runs into the twins, and he can't get off and he spots the train conductor, and the train conductor's just like, get off, and then he spots the twins and he can't get off because he thinks that the twins will remember him, and then the twins have no fucking clue who he is. And it's just like, oh, you shot me twice, and he's like, okay, cool, I've shot a lot of people. And it means nothing. Like, he just, yeah. And then it's just like, and then there's the moment where him and Tangerine are talking, and Brad Pitt's like waiting for the minute to run out so they can kick him off. And then Tangerine just running, grabbing onto the bullet train and smashing the back window out was sick as fuck. Like, highly impractical and wouldn't work in real life because those trains are like 200 miles an hour and they're completely smooth. So I don't know how he was getting grip, but that's why you turn off your brain.
Exactly. That's the point in the film. Also, I thought another funny joke was when they didn't know who the twins looked like.
Oh yeah, like it, but it pays off because everyone thinks they're twins, but they're not because it's Brian Tyrese Henry and Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, but when
aren't twins.
When the Ladybug and Tangerine stepped off the train holding their own briefcase and
to do
the money.
The check stop for the White Devils, like,
and then Ladybug was like, "Oh yeah, see, we don't know the code.
This case is so secure," and then it just opens and launches. And it's just like, yeah, but I was so close to falling.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, well, why did you do it then? And it's just like, yeah.
But it's so funny. He gets the right combination though. That's what he did. He swiped
just
the
by accident.
lock.
Yeah, because he's lucky. Because he just went, and it basically causes the rest of the. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, I think it wasn't like a bunch of like sex toys and stuff, wasn't it?
It was a bunch of lingerie and like panties
and
bras and things like that.
It's just like. Only that could happen to him.
Yeah, I like the parallel between the prince and Brad Pitt's character Ladybug, because like she's always going on about how lucky she is and like how everything just works out for her.
Yeah,
and it's just like her luck, and then Brad Pitt's like, oh, I'm so unlucky, but everything just works out for him, and it's a battle between their lucks.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, his luck won.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want the end boss fight or the end fight?
Does feel like a video game, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of. Films got boss fights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, during the end fight, I was wondering where Prince went.
Yeah,
I was like, where's she gone? She's gonna be back in here somehow.
Well, yeah, because she doesn't die by her father, or like she doesn't manage to get the father to kill her. So I think it's just like she probably was just caught in the train crash, and then just somehow survived because she's lucky, because she boasts about how lucky she is. Brad Pitt's just like, what an ego on this guy. Like, fucking great. Is she in anything like Jodie?
That's what I thought. I thought I recognised her from something. And I do recognise her from something. I recognised her from The Flash.
She's in The Flash?
She's in The Flash TV show, yeah.
Oh, she's in Kissing Booth, the Netflix thing, so...
Yeah, she was in the second season.
Oh, she's in Oz the Great and Powerful, the Zach Braff Wizard of Oz reboot. She's in White House Down.
Oh, she's young Talia al Ghul.
She's young Talia al Ghul?
Yeah.
She's the Malcolm in the Middle?
She was the young Talia al Ghul, because I think that's when she was she was 14. Yeah, that was on that role.
Oh, cool. Nice. Wow, good for her. Oh, she's an American Dad, apparently. Anyway, yeah.
I feel like this is actually quite a hard film to review because it's just good.
Yeah, people just need to go watch it.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to say.
Like we can praise it all we like, but like it's more fun to strip it apart and complain.
I think my only criticism was at the start, and I found it a bit hard to get into. I wasn't hooked straight away.
Oh yeah, I think, but I think I was kind of thrown off by the father-son hospital.
Yeah,
stuff.
I think because of that, as much as it works for the future.
I do like the fact that it's so like juxtaposed between Brad Pitt's introduction, because it just goes from that really depressing, like, oh, my child's in the hospital, like, and then just smash cuts using that song, the Way You Walk, whatever it is, that one. I can't remember what the name of it is, and it just goes to Brad Pitt just walking down the street in like Japan, and I'm just like, fuck yeah. This is so weirdly juxtaposed to this sad scene that we started the movie on. But you were saying?
I don't remember what I was saying. What was I saying?
You were saying about the beginning and how it felt.
Oh yeah, I think I wasn't hooked straight at the beginning.
Mm.
I'm not really too sure why. I think, like you said, that beginning bit, and that, you know, it was quite a slow sequence at the start, really. It didn't go straight into it. Once again,
No,
I think it works for the film overall, but...
Once you connect all the dots and everything, it's like, oh yeah.
But
But maybe you could have Brad Pitt's introduction, then go to the set. But then you wouldn't have been introduced to the guy who hits Brad Pitt and knocks his thing, like his train ticket and his thing and everything like that.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't understand why that guy is walking to the thing to find the person who killed his, or like pushed his son off a roof. I want to know what the consequence, there's so many unanswered questions. Like, how did the prince manage to convince the kid to go up to the roof and get him pushed off and stuff like that? And like, why was the dad 3 hours late to like pick him up or like answer the ransom or whatever it was?
Are you being serious about this?
No, like I'm actually asked, like, because I want to know. Like, I know the dad was like,
doesn't matter.
Yeah, no,
I presume it's just because he's a mob. Oh no, she did say how she got the kid up there.
Well, she said it was easy to convince the kid.
No, I'm pretty sure she was like the strangers or something. Like she just gave him something and it made him go up there.
Maybe.
I swear there's a line of dialogue on that, and she said, "Didn't you teach your child like to not take candy from a stranger?"
Maybe.
I swear she had that dialogue. So I think that's.
I know she says that he's absent and stuff like that, and like he's a terrible father because of it. Like,
yeah,
because. Yeah, but I was just like, well, I guess, but I guess because he is part of the White Devils like organization, I guess it probably makes sense. But like, I'd like to know, but it doesn't matter. Like, it's completely irrelevant, and it doesn't diminish from the story at all.
No, it doesn't. It's so well crafted. I think this film shows that what the law is called, or what the rule is, and it's sort of talking about if you have an object.
Yeah, Asimov. No. Fuck, what is it called?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but I'll describe it where you find the name. As you find an object in the film, you don't show that object unless it actually has purpose.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of films can do that, or do that with like just pointless exposition which you don't need. Whereas this film, I feel like everything it gives you is a nugget of information that is part of the film to one state or another. If it's just like background scenery or just for the effect, it's all there for a reason.
Yeah.
Just a hint at it being a very well-made film. I kind of would like to see David Leitch do more things now. Maybe he can fix Marvel.
Chekhov's gun, there we go.
That's it, yeah.
Is a dramatic principle that states that every element in a story must be necessary and irrelevant elements should be removed. So don't show a gun at the beginning of your movie unless that gun is going to go off, basically.
Yeah, or not go off or something because...
Or unless it has something relevant to the plot. Don't show stuff that's irrelevant to the plot just to show stuff. Have that actually serve a purpose in the movie. But basically, if you show a gun and it's like hovered over for an extensive amount of time, that gun either has to go off or something has to happen with that gun. Like, you don't waste time in the movie by showing unnecessarily irrelevant stuff.
Which is funny because there actually was a gun in here that didn't go off.
Yeah, Brad Pitt has the option to take a gun, and it's like, boom, I'm not taking that gun, and then I'm gonna take the sleeping powder, and it pays off.
Yeah,
like it takes the firecrackers. He uses the firecrackers. Like everything that's used is used or shown is used. It's like very, very good. But yeah, I think that's probably one of our shorter reviews. But like, is there much more to say?
I don't think so.
Who was your favorite character?
Probably Lemon.
I'm saying Tangerine. I really liked Aaron Taylor-Johnson in it.
In fact, I could do either of those two. They were both fantastic.
Like, I'm also gonna say, yeah, I could do both, but like their chemistry off each other is really strong.
It just bounced off, and you have that montage, and they're just killing people as well.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, it's the Deadpool 1 thing where it's like load the bullets and how many bullets we count off, but it's how many people we've killed. Just boom, boom, and it's like 16. Oh, you forgot about the civilian who just gets blown up by a car.
Yeah,
it's just like, that wasn't our fault though. Yeah, who cares? It still counts. It's just like, yeah, no, it's fucking sick. But yeah, we hope you enjoyed this review. It's one of our shorter ones, but like, it's hard to not say bad things about a good movie.
I agree, yeah.
And unfortunately, bad stuff makes for good podcasting, but it also kind of diminishes movie reviewing in general. So it's nice to talk about good things. Because, man, it's been a while since I've actually had a lot of fun in a cinema.
Also, my dog is relentlessly barking right now, so it would be helpful to end the review.
Well, we'll see you next week then for something else. I don't remember what it is. We'll have recorded it by then, though. Goodbye.
Yeah, we will have, yeah. Bye-bye.